Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're taking a look at some of the Chinese stocks listed in the US. Before I begin, remember to take a second to give the video a like and subscribe as you greatly help our channel. Without further ado, let's first start off with Tencent. So for Tencent holdings, you can see that nothing much for the week. In fact, we close near the bottom. So as mentioned, don't seem to be any other support until we hit around 31.50. That will be the next slightly support up ahead for Tencent. You can see that we actually go back to retest this blue conversion line, but unfortunately we cannot break it up above it. So as of now, this will be acting as a resistance at 34.80. Second resistance will be at the $38 psychological resistance. Moving on to Alibaba. So Alibaba, as mentioned earlier, there was some support at $78, but it seems that we still haven't really seen buyers coming back. So it's likely for us to come back to retest this low of 73.28 in the event that we see more selling pressure ahead. If not, the first and the next resistance to watch out for will be around 85.50. This will be the rate baseline we see here. As of now, you can see that this blue conversion line at around 81.30 is holding pretty well until we break it next week. So moving on to NetEase. So for NetEase, we are currently at this 23.6% at 78.10 from a low of 68.52 to high of 108.77. If we can climb up towards this rate baseline at 82.20, that would be good. If not, this blue conversion line at around $78 must hold. If not, it's likely for us to come back to retest is 68.62 if the $70 psychological support were to break down. For NIO, it's very bearish. You can see that there was a lot of selling pressure after we created a fake breakout here, and it seems like the sellers are still in control. Even though we found some support at the $15 psychological support, it was already pretty weak because we already broke down 38.2%. So it's a very good chance for us to actually come back to retest this low of 11.67, or even potentially drifting down to create a new low $10 or even below the $10 psychological support level. As of now, hopefully we can get some double bottom once we hit this 11.67, and perhaps some retail investors may be putting their stop losses just below this 11.67 support. So looking at this resistance, the first resistance will be $15 or $16, $16 psychological resistance, and thereafter will be the $18 resistance. Next up, we have JD. So for JD, very bearish, likely to reset everything at 46.83. In the event we break down, then 41 would be the next support in line. For the resistance, first resistance will be 51.60. Second resistance will be 55.60. Moving on to Baidu. So Baidu, very similar situation at around this 23.6%, similar to NetEase. Looking towards this support here at this blue conversion line at $120 psychological support. Next resistance would be the 130 psychological resistance. In the event that 114 were to break down, you can see that there was buying support here. Then it's starting for us to come back to retest 101 levels. Moving on to PDD, nothing much seems to be consolidating. Hopefully we can continue to climb up further. If not, this 61.8% breakdown, then 58.92 and 55.59 would be the next two support. Bear in mind that there is still a gap here. So the gap, this particular high is 54.28. So it's likely for us to come back to fill this gap in the event that sellers were to dominate. As of now, the resistance to watch would be the $66 psychological resistance. If we can break up from here, and we can see a lot of selling here, we can break out, then potentially retest the high of $73. Moving on to KWEB. So KWEB, very bearish as expected. So 23.72 is the next support in line. In the event we break down, then potentially $20 would be the once again retested of its recent low in March earlier this year. For the resistance would be 25.50. Second resistance would be 26.88. Moving on to CWEB. So for CWEB, equally bearish. We already broke down its previous low of 40.40. So I don't see any support until we hit 35.50. As for the resistance to watch, it will be this first blue conversion line at 41.73. Second one will be $47. So lastly, it will be FXI. So FXI, once again, creating a new low after breaking down 26.13, likely for us to come back down further to even potentially $22. Resistance will be 27.80 at this rate. Baseline is still pretty far away. So as of now, the overall market sentiment isn't really improving. We did see a rebound, but hopefully we see more buyers coming back. If not, we'll start creating lower lows if we do not see double bottoms from here. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again. Appreciate the manipulation.